3 o'clock, we'll call the regular Hutchinson Utilities Commission to order. Before we get started, are there any conflicts of interest by any of the commissioners?
I do have one. I'm going to abstain on the consent agenda. I own part of a company called 235 Hassan LLC, and it's receiving a CIP rebate, energy conservation rebate, on the ratification of the payment bill. So I'll abstain from agenda item 2, consent agenda.
And myself as well, approving from the consent agenda. There is a check that will be payable to Redline Systems and last month's bills, and I own that company. So
I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
motion by Don, second by Monty. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3 is to approve the financial statements.
I don't have much. It's all pretty similar to the year before. Numerous purchases decreased slightly. The market purchases up because we just had to buy more. Yeah, other than that, there isn't much on the gas either. That was up net income wise a little bit, and revenues were up. That's mostly due to the fact that we're not giving credits anymore, and we're charging customers extra to build up the rate stabilization fund. It's the biggest difference in the revenue there.
How are the past due accounts?
Getting down there. I'll throw that on again next month. But we've started disconnects now. Fees went on again last month, so we've started charging fees again. Minimal complaints, really. I was kind of surprised.
Good.
Good. Any other questions or any from the commissioners?
I'll make a motion to approve the financial statement.
I'll second.
Motion by Bob, second by Anthony. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 4, open forum. I don't see any guests. Number 5, communication. City Administrator. Hi, Matt.
Hey guys, not a whole lot. Probably noticed the building's coming down, the kind of food building's coming down. We're in the middle of budget season, that's about it. So,
Dan?
Yesterday we energized the Plant 2 transformers, the substation, so it's nice to get that checked off. So that's been a long project, but it's done. So we moved the load, worked with Dave and his guys, moved the load back to the sub, and it was down at Plant 1. So getting back to normal, finally.
Good. That was a pretty complex project.
It was like complete renovation. Yeah, we gutted everything and started over. But it was due. It was that 40-year-old technology, 40-year-old equipment. It was a good project.
Nice work.
I have nothing new.
Jeremy mentioned it briefly earlier, but next month is when we're going to start back training for Sue's position. We'll have 2 people sit in, actually. Angie's going to sit in and Kim, just so we have 2 people who've seen it. It's pretty technical. We thought it'd be good to have 2 people. So then,
just one item. Jeremy and I spoke a little bit about what we could do this winter to reduce our exposure to the high natural gas prices that are out there. They're not going to go away. So I reviewed our average load through the winter, November through March, and looked how much room we had, how much swing we could reduce. I went out or did some pricing and purchased some gas for November through February. March we're pretty heavy, we're pretty good, and it's kind of a soft month anyway. So I purchased some additional gas, different volume levels for November, December, January, and February. Prices are not kind, but they average in pretty well with our costs we have now. Not a huge impact. $6.35, which about floored me, but it's winter only. There's no summer load to blend it down, but I can blend it down with our contracts we have in place, and the customers will hardly see any impact at all.
Great.
So
That's awesome.
trying to protect us. I'm working with 3M. Their fixed price contracts are done at the end of December, and they wouldn't buy earlier when prices were good. So now we're struggling. So I met with Joe and Renee Carlson, who's at the corporate, a couple times this week to find out what they're willing to do to get some as cheap as gas as possible for them. So I think I came up with a pretty good strategy today. I've got it out for pricing right now with a couple of marketers. We'll see where it comes in.
John, what percentage now with the additional purchases over the winter, what percentage are we hedged on our average
We're
consumption?
about 87%.
So
Pretty
that's
high.
about,
I mean, it's pretty high, but I'll sell back into the market if I have to protect myself from another February.
and that was about half of what the normal swing would be, then you bought about half up from the normal
Exactly.
swing?
Yep. I wanted to leave a little bit of room in case market doesn't go stupid, but protects us a lot.
Okay, you had something for Dave yet?
Yeah, Dave, quick question for you. The weather's changing, things are gonna be getting cold and freezing up soon. Are you guys done with construction? That's part A, and part B is how'd your equipment hold up? Or, yes,
Equipment's in great shape, everything's done well that way as far as equipment installation stuff. Our large projects are all completed. We have a handful of services for new homes to get done yet this month before it freezes up, so.
okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Human Resources, Brenda, anything today?
Yep, just a reminder for the commission that you will need to set the annual review date and time for the general manager. 2 meetings left in the year, so normally you've done it as part or in conjunction with one of your regular meetings, but that of course will be up to you on date and time to set that.
All right. Legal? Mark?
Nothing today.
All right, back to Jeremy, General Manager.
Just to piggyback on what John was talking about, I have gotten several calls and some questions just in the community about, the increased energy prices. Obviously, people are watching it on TV, reading the paper, and so I think with the additional things that John has locked up, I think we're sitting pretty well hedged against the market. I did have the leader call, and I talked to them about just the price volatility. And so the biggest probably issue that we're going to have, obviously, is if our consumption is extremely high, right? If we consume 30-40% more gas in a month, where even the additional gas that John's locked up now becomes less of our overall need, then we'll be a little bit more subject to the pricing. But overall, we're pretty well hedged against the market. So knock on wood, we don't have that significant price inflation where things are hitting, $150 or more. But a lot of utilities just aren't in that position. A lot of them haven't contracted that type of gas, and so a lot of that's going on now. A lot of times people are hedged 30, 40, 50%. And so a lot of the marketers are saying is, even though the pricing's a little bit higher and it's the fixed pricing over the winter, you're better off just biting the bullet and locking that in versus taking the risk against the market. A couple of things are still issues out there on the gas side. Transmission constraint still an issue. So even if there's plenty of gas, let's say consumption in the cold weather is extremely all over the United States, then maybe some of the supply may be there, but they're just not going to transport that amount of gas to people, so that's going to have an increase in price inflation. So transmission constraints are still issues, pipelines, and that's going to, as long as those constraints are there, when the country is extremely cold, you're going to have price inflation anyway, regardless if supply is there or not. It's going to be sheer logistics and transportation is an issue. So I think we're pretty situated where we're at, but still doesn't alleviate from some price escalation if it's cold all over the country. So, but just want to let you know, I have gotten quite a bit of calls on that, inquiries on that. The leader had asked about that, so I gave him our position.
You're in front and center in the top headline today in the Hutch Leaders.
Was I? I haven't looked.
I
You wanted
didn't
me
read- I didn't
front
read it
Page.
Yeah.
You wanted
All
me
the way
last
across
week,
the front.
but okay. I said, well, I can talk to you about it now. He's like, it sounds like you guys know like what's going on, and of course we're watching it all the time. So, but that is a big concern for a lot of people out there. We're going to have another February. How are we hedging our customers against that stuff from happening again? So I think we're positioned well as can be. Of course, we've talked about the ceilings and the collars before. These are just better alternatives with rate stabilization fund reserves and the things that John's doing versus adding these additional collars into the mechanisms. That's just too costly for the what if, and we don't want to pass that on to our customers. It's just not an appropriate financial tool to use right now, so.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Weather forecasters are calling for 3 major cold spells this winter, but it's the weather, who knows? But they're talking about 3 longer lasting cold spells, so that if they go far enough down south, it will definitely impact pricing. Plus, it makes me angry because I don't like being cold.
Crazy.
And Texas hasn't really taken any measures to improve their situation, have they?
And none of them.
Because it's Texas.
There's some legislation down there, but they haven't been able to put all that stuff in place in that short amount of time, so yeah, we're susceptible to some of that stuff going on in the country, so just in case you hear, can let people know we've tried to plan as appropriately as possible for that stuff, so.
Good.
Otherwise, just kind of budget stuff here at your end. Not a focal point, so.
Thank you guys for being proactive.
I would agree. That was, and we've talked about this before, but I got more phone calls about the February gas spike in prices. Probably fair to say than I got phone calls on anything else in all my tenure on Hutchinson. So it got people's attention.
All right, Jeremy, thank you. Agenda item 6 is the policies. There's a lot for review. Looks like there's just 3 of them that we need to change. Starting with the electric meter placement.
Yeah, so this is, we're bringing this in front of you because we're obviously want to be proactive and stay ahead of some of the things going on in the industry. A lot of customers, residential, commercial, are looking to add things under their homes, under their businesses to become more independent, more of a microgrid. One of the things that's becoming a big concern out there for a lot of utilities around the country is people are looking to use the utilities meter sockets to install pieces of equipment, which then leaves our equipment open to susceptibility of issues as far as things being tampered with or something shorting out for something that they put in, like backup generators, things, and tying into our meter sockets. So that's becoming a huge problem. So we just want to make sure we're heading off that with our infrastructure and our equipment, that we're not going to allow, if you want to put some generation or you want to do something on your own, you're not going to tap into our system and our meters and create damage or issues. So we just want to add that in there, that we're not going to allow people to tap into our meter sockets.
There's other ways for them to do that, correct?
Correct. So that's that one, just being proactive. And certainly we haven't had as much people wanting to do that here, but some of the places, West Coast and places down, I mean, they're having a huge issue with that happening. And then the other policies that are in place for review is just the update of our new rates that went into effect with the glide paths that we're on. So we need you guys to approve those formal rates, and then we're going to republish back on the website with the new rates that are on the billing system and structure. So.
All right, sounds good. Anybody care to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the policy changes, electric meter placement, service policies on the electric rate schedule, and the service policies on the natural gas rate schedule.
I'll second.
Motion by Don, second by Anthony. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 7 is unfinished business. There's none. New business. 8A is discussion / approval of rescheduling the November 24th, 2021 and December 29th, 2020 regular commissions meetings if needed. So everybody have a chance to look at their schedules.
I'm here the 24th, so that's fine with me.
Works for me.
Bob?
Same here, yeah.
Okay,
Here.
so we're good for the November 24th, and what about the December 29th meeting?
I think I'm here.
First week
Yeah.
of December. No.
I'm around.
I should be.
For New Year's parties?
We just put it before.
I
Jeremy,
think
any
we're-
conflict for you?
Well, usually done.
No, not for me.
So we don't get
Just
it
depends
in
if,
right
a lot of times we
before
see
the
if
year.
you guys are traveling for
Sometimes,
Christmas or whatever.
and it doesn't matter if everybody can be here, but sometimes we've moved it to before Christmas, right?
We have,
That's like I was gonna say, we usually did put it before Christmas, and otherwise we get stuck between Christmas and New Year's.
I'm fine with the 22nd or the
22nd?
29th. So,
What day?
22nd is a Wednesday. before
I
Christmas.
am also okay with the 22nd or 29th.
Yeah, that's fine for me.
rather do the 22nd?
That
I think
would,
that's fine.
I don't care.
that would help me, but.
The other piece I
don't
noticed,
know me.
there's 5 Wednesdays in December. This, usually it's the 4th Wednesday of each month. There just happens to be 5 in this month, so if we do the 22nd, that's
Stick
the
with it.
4th Wednesday anyway,
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
for the holidays.
Reschedule the 22nd?
Yeah. Works for me. So we get a motion?
Yes, yep. Same time, I'm assuming, 3 o'clock.
24th, I thought November 22nd.
I'll make a motion to reschedule the December regular commission meeting to Wednesday, December 22nd, 2021.
I'll second that.
Motion by Anthony, second by Bob to move the date to December 22nd. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hope not. The motion is approved then. Item number 9 is to adjourn.
I have one last question before I should maybe,
Sorry.
no, I first should have thought about it before. We typically have a budget workshop in place. We usually have a budget workshop opposed to having the budget talked about at a normal commission meeting. Is that something you guys want to do, or do you want it to be a part of the November regular commission meeting? How comfortable you guys are at?
I think my opinion would be one of two options. One, you send it out to us and we meet with you individually to ask the questions, and then get it approved in December. Or 2, have a workshop where we're all there together and then approve it. That'd be my read.
I mean, that's, the most work would be put on Jeremy if he had to meet with everybody
It
individually.
might be easier for Jeremy to do it all
Right.
at a workshop.
I was trying to remember what we did last year, and it's not coming to me.
We typically have a workshop because a lot of times you don't want it just to be part of the regular meeting because it may be a half hour in itself. So you typically had workshop, but if you guys are comfortable with typical how budgets look and you just want to have it part of the,
I wouldn't mind,
Commission
I wouldn't
meeting
mind the
too.
workshop.
Yeah, I think the workshop's a good way
Yeah.
for us to,
okay.
I like to hear everybody else's questions.
Yeah, I would agree.
Do you want to look to set something now? Do you want to look and get back to us and set something later?
Have Angie send out a few options?
That'd be great.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
Yeah. Sure.
I
Okay.
guess any guidance like early morning best, or
It's fine.
I'll just
Anytime
look
after
for all of your
7:30.
availability.
5 a.m.?
Herb said early, I didn't say silly.
All right then. Angie will send that stuff out. We'll get back to agenda item number 9.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Monty,
I'll second that.
second by Don. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion to adjourn is approved. Thank you, everybody.